All right, that should be good. Okay, so let's get started here. Okay, so let me show you the setup that I'm currently running. So hopefully you guys can hear me. It sounded like you guys could do it earlier. So here's my setup. I'm going to be writing on my iPad, as you guys can see. Hopefully it's shared to you, so when I write on my iPad screen, you can see it. So it'll look like this, so you guys can probably see that. And then I have a camera in front of me that's recording, just the normal classroom camera, and that's the one that's recording my face, and that's one I'll talk to a lot. And then the Zoom, I don't record. That's just weird. I don't record Zooms. I don't want your faces out there on the internet. So that's kind of how I'm going to run class. If you have questions, don't be afraid to ask. I can hear you. I can see the chats open up right next to me. I'm going to treat this like a normal class. We're just going to go through some notes today. You guys have probably been inundated by emails, so I understand that. It happens. So don't like worry about that. Just expect that I'm going to send you a link every single day, today and tomorrow and Thursday and Friday. I'll send a link out, even though I'm sending out to the entire class for Zoom, because I know on certain days, coming up this Thursday, they're doing the hybrid. They're starting the hybrid, half here, half at home, and then it flip-flops on Friday. So I know that's going to seem weird. We've never tried this before. I'm just going to treat it the same way we do class. You report into the Zoom. I'll send you the link to Zoom. You have to be here. If you're in class, you don't have to worry about it. So if you're at home, you will have to Zoom with me at the correct time, 6th period each day. That's what, about 12:32-ish in the time. I send it out by email. Wednesdays times are different because we're on an early out schedule, so I'll send you that schedule when we get there. But I'm going to treat it the same way. I'm going to just do my iPad, so it looks like the marker board, so you can see all my notes going. And then if you have questions, you can see me off to the side. You can see my little webcam, so you can ask me questions. I'm going to record. I'll post it tonight after school, so you can watch it again if you need to. I'll have to do a little bit of editing, because I'm going to take my normal camera and put it on the side of the iPad screen, so you can see me talk, kind of like what you are seeing now. So that's what we're going to be doing. Now, I did submit a Google question of the day on Google Classroom. I do want you to answer those every single day, everybody. It's a part of the attendance process. I do require that you're in Zoom every single day, so it's part of the attendance process. So keep that in mind. Just let's go through a couple things that we need to clarify. All right, so I'm going to use Google Classroom for everything. I think most teachers in this building do. Maybe the English department doesn't, but for me, I'm going to use Google Classroom. So if we have an assignment, I'm going to send it out there. So I'll have worksheets, pages. I'm going to put on Google Classroom. I'll put on JMC Lesson Planner. I'll put it on my website like I always do. If you're going to submit homework back to me, you're going to take a picture. You're going to put it on a document, all right? However you're going to do it. You need to submit it back to me via Google Classroom from now on. That way I have one central location where all the homework is submitted to me. It's just easier that way. It's easier for you. You know, there's one spot you have to go. So just keep that in mind. I don't like getting 300 emails a day. I'm sure you don't either. So it's just one of those things I'm gonna make sure that you understand that you have to submit everything back to me via Google Classroom. Now, schedule-wise, I'll send an email every night that has the link for the next day's Zoom. It's the normal time during the day. I'm not going to pick some weird time. It'll be the normal class period, so you should be available. Contact information or my class hours. It'll be on the email I'm going to send out. I'm going to send out an email to your parents and use to clarify kind of what I'm doing in my classroom from now on, in case we go to more distant learning versus hybrid. And then assignments and attendance policies, and and all that. Now, if you can't make one of my Zoom meetings, let's say you are sick, you don't feel well enough, or you don't want to get out of bed, I understand that it happens. Or maybe you have a doctor's appointment. You have to think of it like a normal class day. So if you're not going to be in class, you're not going to attend via Zoom, or you're not going to be here in class, you have to call into the school and call in sick, because I'm going to report you absent anyway. So just report it as normal. So that's just something I just want to clarify. So if you can't make the Zoom that I send out, then make sure that you're calling the office and saying, you're giving your reasons why you can't be there, because I'm going to use it as attendance, including the classroom, Google Classroom question of the day. All right. So again, you'll get an email from me today via that. It'll go to your parents and you to clarify how I'm taking care of my classes. It's just a little clarifier because I know some parents get kind of stressed out by that, including you. You're probably stressed out by what you have to do. Hopefully that makes sense. I'm just going to treat this like a normal class. So I think the way that I have my setup going, it kind of works. You can see my marker board. That's my iPad in front of me. You can see me face to face. You can ask me questions. You can type in the chat. I don't really care. And again, I'll post my website. So just be kind of aware of the setup we have. Now, let's get to the question of the day. So that's what everyone wants to know. What is the question of the day? How do I answer the Google question so I'm counted present? The goal of today's lesson is to find the point of intersection of lines. So that's what you want to answer. So on Google Classroom it says, what is the goal of today? I want to find the point of intersection of straight lines. That's what you want to type. So let's kind of walk through what I mean by that. Let's just do a quick example. So I'm just going to treat this like notes. We're going to just do a couple problems today, and then we're going to call it, we'll be done early, so you can kind of get ready for your next class if you have one. All right, so let's say we have our lines, they're crossing. So here's one line, you can see that's a straight line. And we have another line, let's call it this one. And what I'm looking for is that point of intersection. This thing right here. That point of intersection is what I'm interested in. That is the point. That is the whole goal of what today is. Find that literally that point where they're crossing. Now the coordinate for that, they're going what, over 3 to the right, and then up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, up 5. This is the goal. Can you find that point, that coordinate? Does that make sense to everyone? Hopefully it does. Okay, now let's walk through two examples here today. I want to do this example, and then I'll do another example here in a second that will clarify kind of the examples, the types of problems we're going to be doing the next couple days in here, so you know what the assignment will eventually look like. And yes, eventually we'll get an assignment in here, and I'll explain the concept of how we're going to handle that. Now, so let's start with a new one here. So let me give you a couple of problems here. So the first problem, let's go with y equals 3 over 2x plus 1. And let's go with 3x plus y equals 10. Let's say that's one of my equations. So these are two individual lines. They're different equations, and I want to go graph them. So we're still in the point of graphing. So if you think back to what we did last week, everything has been building up to this. We talked about how to graph in slope-intercept form. So if you don't remember that form, here it is. Let me give you that formula. It's y equals mx plus b. Okay. On that assignment, that was the worksheet 2.4. It's the one we did last Thursday in class. So if you weren't there, this is what we covered. We covered how to draw. And that was probably the assignment out of the 3 we did last week, those 3 in-class activities. This is probably the one that most people struggle with, was drawing. They're just drawing in the wrong spot. They're going the wrong direction. They just look too quickly at the problem. And then the assignment we did on Friday, the in-class activity we did on Friday, we did worksheet 2.5, which was rearranging equations. That's what we're going to do on this bottom one. And so we're going to have to put this all together so we can go draw these. So the top one, let me put this top one in purple here. This one's already in the right form. Okay, it's already in the perfect form. I have my y equals mx plus b. So the b is the 1. That's the positive 1 in the back. So I'm going to start at positive 1. And then, so it's at positive 1 here. And then the slope is my 3/2. So that means it's rise over run. So I'm going to rise 3 and run 2. And it's always going to the right. So from this dot that I just drew, I'm going to rise 3 and then run 2 to the right. And then you can just stop there and draw the line. I like to do a couple dots. So we'll do it again. Rise 3, run 2, rise 3, run 2. I like to do a couple dots. You can even go the opposite direction. And you get the sense for where this thing is going. Here it is. There's the top line. Now the second equation, I'm going to put it in green. So this one I'm going to have to rearrange. So I'm going to move this 3x across the equal sign. I need to get the y by itself. So if I move that 3x across, it becomes a negative 3x. And now that's in the right form. I don't have a number in front of y, so I don't have to worry about that. So I should be able to just go ahead and draw this. It's going to start at 10. So I'm going to start at positive 10. And then my slope is -3 over 1, because you can make slope, that's the number in front of x, you can always make it a fraction by putting a 1 on the bottom. So I'm going to drop 3, run 1, and it always runs to the right. So drop 3, run 1, drop 3, run 1. I can already tell where they're crossing. The dot literally landed on top of each other. And so the coordinate, the whole point of this, like where did the point of intersection, it's right there. That was what, over 2 and up 4? That's the point where they crossed. That's the whole goal of what we're trying to figure out. That's the point. 2, 4. Remember, the x number is always first and the y number is always second. The up and down number is second. So 2 over 4 up. And there's your coordinate. Okay, now, let's do one more and then we're going to be done. I'll explain a couple other directions here. Okay, so last question of the day. Same thing, I'm just going to make up a new problem here. I'll kind of use some different colors here, so let's do orange. So let's go with y equals negative 2x plus 1, and let's go with x plus y equals, I don't know, let's go -4. Just kind of make up some weird number here. Okay, so making these problems the way that they are, I'm looking for the point where they cross, right? These are two individual like lines. You want to get them to the same form, so you want to get them to y equals mx plus b. So y equals mx plus b. So on this one, let's do the top one. I'll put the top one, maybe we'll put it in like a blue color. We'll do blue. So there's my y number, and my y-intercept, that's the b number, and then my m is my slope, and you can put this over 1. So now putting this in blue here, I'm going to start at +1. It's a +1 in the back, that's my y-intercept, and my slope tells me it's negative, so it's dropping 2, running 1. So drop 2, run 1, drop 2, run 1. Ooh, put it too close. Drop 2, run 1, drop 2, run 1. You guys get the idea, and I'll just keep drawing these over and over and over. I always like to do a couple, see kind of where it's going. You can go the opposite direction, it's fine. And now my second equation here, I need to rearrange it a little bit. Let's put this one in, let's put it in green here. All right, so we're going to move this x over. So the x will be moved to the other side, so it's a -1x. That is a 1x right there. So I moved it over, it became negative. Then 4 was already negative over here. And then I can write my slope as 1 over 1. So I'm going to start at the b number. Well, my b number in this particular problem, my b number happens to be this -4. So I'll put this in green here. I'll draw this. So I'm going to start at -4. Here it is. And then my slope is the -1 over 1. So I'm going to have to, from this dot, I'm going to have to go down 1 over 1, down 1 over 1. And you can kind of see what's happening here. And I'm hitting right there. Whoa. That line was really bad. There we go. Still kind of curved. All right, but there you go. You can kind of see where I'm crossing. I'm crossing right at that spot. That's the one spot where they met. So that spot is, what is that? If I count that. What was that point where they met? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's 5 over and then -9 down. And that's the coordinate where they met. That's kind of the goal we're doing these next couple days in here. Let me take a screenshot of that. All right. Okay. Hopefully this makes sense to you. The goal here was to keep class kind of as normal as possible. I know that seems odd for those who are here because you're at home, you're trying to watch. I know Zoom can kind of look like hot garbage sometimes. Hopefully the iPad looks pretty good. You don't have any glares on it. You can kind of see what I'm drawing here. If it's really struggling, maybe it's your internet connection at home. I always post my video online after school. So you can go back, watch it, submit the question of the day. I'll have a different question every single day now that we're doing a lot of distant learning here, so we're gonna have to do this. Tomorrow will be the same thing. We'll have a Zoom tomorrow. Make sure you report in on time. So thanks for all those who are here today. So you guys will be counted present. And then we might get in a small assignment tomorrow, so keep that in mind. Assignments will be submitted via Google Classroom from now on. Don't just email me a copy of it. Send it in Google Classroom, attach it to the assignment of the day when I post it. I'll send out an email later tonight via Google Classroom, kind of explaining the directions that I'm going to use in class so your parents are aware of what we're doing. If your parents are not signed up for that, make sure that you share with them like what we're doing, how I'm taking care of class. I know that's a big question that some parents have, like what are the logistics that we're going to do in class. I think this is a setup that will work for us. If there's something that you need personally, you can always, email me. You can always call me. You can do whatever. You can ask after class is over. I'll give you a little bit of time, that you guys can ask questions if you have any. I'll try to do that every single day, where I give you just 5-10 minutes at the end of class. You can ask questions. I had a lot of people stick around today during the other lectures. I've done classes all morning. So if you have questions, don't be afraid. Stick around. You don't have to turn on your camera. You can just ask. You can do it right now. I don't mind. But I just want to make sure that you're still getting feedback. You get to hear what I'm saying. You get to ask questions when you have them. Don't be afraid to do that. It's like a classroom. You just ask questions. I'll try to post the videos like normal. I don't record the Zoom, so don't worry about that. And then if I know that we're starting hybrid this Thursday and Friday, where half of you are here, half are at home, I will still send out the Zoom link to everybody. So don't be worried about that. Everyone will get the link in case maybe you're sick that day, you're just not present. I know some people have switched days when they're here because of younger siblings, so they want to be in the school at the same time. If you are struggling at home, like this is not working for you, you have other classes you're really struggling with, the administration has given us total permission that you are allowed to come in here. Even though it may not be the day you're supposed to be in school, you always have permission to be here. So just make sure that they made an exception. I just don't want the entire class here. I still want to honor, the Department of Health's recommendations of being half student body. But if it's a small group of kids, like 1 or 2 kids that just I need to be here because I can't get this, be here. Talk to the administration, talk to the office, say that, hey, I need to come in. I'm struggling in math. Can I come and see Mr. Ward? They will allow you to do that. I am more than happy with you coming in. So don't feel bad. You can be here even on the days when we're distant learning. I am totally fine with you doing that. Just because I know it's tough. You're trying to learn a new thing through a weird medium that we're not used to. So we got to try to make it as interactive as possible. So just keep that in mind. But yeah, so I'll use Google Classroom a lot these next couple days. So I know you're going to be stuck with a lot of emails. Sorry, it's just to get things clarified so you know what to do and how to handle. Make sure that you're taking notes each day. I know that's kind of hard when you don't have graph paper. Just do the best you can to draw. And if there's any recommendations, like it's really crackly or fuzzy, or you just need a better camera angle, or you need this iPad idea isn't working, you want a different way, I can put it up on the board. So how I'm going to do it when kids are in class this Thursday, I have A through J or something like that, unless you've been recommended to be here. I will still Zoom, so my setup will still be, I'll be at my desk. The people at home will be in Zoom. You'll be seeing my iPad, I'll be writing on my iPad, and then the people that are in class, I'll be sharing my iPad screen on the marker board as well. So everyone in the room will get the same notes as you at home. So it's not like I'm going to be doing different notes and you're getting Zoom different. So it'll be the same. I'll record just like we always do. So just kind of be aware of that. I want to make it as transition as easy as possible for you. I've done this before, and it seems like a lot of people like this. Just the setup we have, it works. Yeah, so if you don't have any questions and you understand the question of the day is, to find that points of intersections of straight lines, you can go answer that Google question, you're done for the day. You can check out of here, you can exit if you want. If you have any questions, you want to stick around, do that now. You can ask in private, but have a great day, and I'll see you next time. All right, Jenny, you got any questions for me? Are you sitting in a tractor today or a side-by-side? Looks like a side-by-side. What am I looking at? Is this a tractor? You can't hear me. Doing some farm work today. All right, Jenna, I'm going to let you go. Have a good one.